Hello and welcome to my second episode of my podcast. First of all, I would like to welcome everybody here. Thank you so much for those of you who have returned, and thank you too for your really encouraging comments and the feedback that I got, and for all of you who've subscribed, which to me is quite amazing. So thank you very much. For those of you who are new, welcome. This is a slightly mixed podcast and I talk about fibres in general and colour, and I love design ideas, but it's focused really on knitting, spinning, weaving and dyeing. That's what I love to do. It's a month since I did my last podcast, and I guess, you know, we're into the new year now, and all being well, there's an exhibition next month called Unravel, which is down here in the south of England. I can't wait to go. It'll be 2 years since I've been to a wool or a fibre exhibition, so that's going to be very exciting. So I'm hoping, keeping fingers crossed, all will be well and we can go to that. Today I'm going to really talk about knitting, what I've done, one or two finished objects, works in progress. I shall then, when I finish talking about knitting, just have a look at what new little things I'm starting to try and have a little go at crochet, and then look at my dyeing and my yarns, and then looking at some weaving, which I have started to do again, which makes me very, very happy. So let's kick off. I think you've probably seen this jumper. This is my comfort go-to jumper that I love. It's a straight down, just my two sort of squares, and then join on some sleeves, and I absolutely love this. It's so comfortable, and it's knitted in Drops soft tweed guacamole, and I just love it. It's so comfortable and I'm very, very happy wearing it. I have finished. Well, this is another one I think I showed you last time when it was in progress, and this again is Drops soft tweed in the Pebbles colour, a soft grey. So here we go. I was going to do the same as I've got on, the same jumper I've got on, but when I tried this on the other day without sleeves, I really liked it, and I thought actually probably in the summer and the spring I will wear it a lot. So for the time being anyway, I'm going to leave it without sleeves. It's perfectly plain, a lovely knit, lovely to knit, very comfortable to knit, very comfortable to wear. If I want to add sleeves later on, I can, or alternatively, I can always do another one. So this, I'm very pleased with this. I do find that particularly if I'm at home or in the house, I get quite warm with a long sleeved jumper, and I think with the better weather coming, hopefully, I will get a lot of wear out of this. So I'm very happy with this. I cast it on Christmas Eve. That was my Christmas cast on, so I'm quite pleased I've got it done, because I have been doing quite a lot of other things as well. This is another finished object that I don't think I showed you last time. I may not have finished it. I may have done, I don't know. But this is lovely. It's just a plain, mindless, brainless knit, garter stitch. And it started off as it was going to be a small scarf, haha, but it's ended up as rather a large wrap. But you know, it's fantastic, and I have used it already a lot. It's very lovely to wear, and again, I think even when the better weather comes, I shall wear it without a coat. But so it was such a nice thing to do. Absolutely, just knit, 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 and Bob's your uncle. As I say, it was going to be a nice small scarf, and it's ended up as a rather large wrap, but I'm very happy that it has. Something I have recognised in myself, I know I've done this in the past, I tend to start something, I think, oh, I'm going to make a bag or something, and I remember I was going to knit a bag years ago and it ended up as a cardigan, and that is still happening with me. You know, that jumper is now going to be short sleeved, this was going to be a small scarf and is now a large wrap, and it tends to be, maybe it's just the way I work, but I quite like to have my options open, so that's that. Now, works in progress, and I have got one or two finished socks. I have I'm doing some socks here, and I'm really fascinated with this. This is my hand dyed, and I'm playing around with how to mix different colours, and I'm rather liking the way these have mixed. Can you see? Again, that was rather a bit of a brown splodge, but the other side's more orange. But I don't mind. I quite like the unexpected, but I'm quite enjoying that. And I'm finding it's giving me ideas for other things as well. But I like the way it mixes. So this is the one sock. The other sock is still in progress. Another sock that I finished, and the other one is in progress. I shall show you. I did do another pair of socks that I've gifted to a really good friend of mine, so I can't show you those. Here's these again. I'm exploring and experimenting with my hand spun and hand dyed. So it's just so nice being able to make things up and make patterns up and see what happens to the colours. A lot of this is natural dyed with walnut skins, and that's just the natural coloured fleece, and then the other is a mix and match really. So that's that sock. Now I was doing the pair and the other sock to it, and I cast on the other evening, and it just shows you in the artificial light. I thought I was casting on sort of a grey, but actually it's green, but it doesn't matter. They don't have to match. So again, I'm enjoying doing this sock, and I quite like slightly mismatch socks. But I'm exploring my hand spun. It is thicker, obviously, this one, but that's fine. That's part of what I'm learning about the different thicknesses of socks. So that's in progress. Oh, the other thing in progress is my Sloppy Joe hasn't quite finished. I've run out of yarn, so I'm waiting for another ball of yarn to come. This again is another mindless, because I like to have a mindless one to do it late at night. This is mindless. I wanted a fairly small scarf because it's in linen and cotton, and I think it would be good to have in the summer. So I cast on about 75 stitches and it ripped it back because it's too many. So I thought I won't do another stole this time. So this is just 50 stitches, but I like it, and I think it's going to be a nice, easy, drapey thing to put over around in the summer over linen trousers or whatever. And it's a nice mindless knit. Again, this is my dear old drops, and it's Bolin, I think B-O-L-I-N, cotton and linen, which is really nice. I've never used that before. I haven't worked with it before, but it makes a nice change. So I'm beginning to think a little bit more into the warmer weather, but yeah, again, a nice easy knit, something I enjoy doing. It's garter stitch, doesn't stretch the mind too much. Now, talking about stretching the mind, those of you who watched my last episode might remember that I said I was going to challenge myself and start trying to do some colour work. Well, I have started trying to do some colour work, and I have enjoyed it very much. I tend to do, if I can, about an hour a day, but it's not always. Some days I don't do any, and I just do one. I mean, to start with, I did like 1 or 2 rows, but I have got quicker. I've got quicker doing it, but it's coming on. And it was going to be a cowl, as I said in my last episode, and here it is. Now, I'm quite pleased with this. Now, I started off by picking, doing the pattern from my Marie Wallen book, but then I got to row 26 and I thought, do you know what, I'm going to start doing something a bit different. And I got another book, which I shall show you in a minute, which totally blew my mind and inspired me. And basically, apart from anything else, at the end, there's lots of pages of patterns for colour work. And really, the ethos of the book is encouraging you to create and design your own garments. Not to slavishly follow a pattern, but to pick bits here and there and add it. And that is something I love. So I then thought, right, I'm going to do a pattern from that. And I did these little flowers along the top, which I absolutely love. And apart from anything else, I've decided it's probably too good for a cowl, apart from the fact I do tend to get an itchy neck anyway. So I am going to make it into a cardigan, if I can. In fact, I was awake half the night last night working out how to do it. I will have to cut it and steek it, which I've never done before. So then a really good challenge. I've got some more of the, I'll have to get some more of this wool. This was for something else, I can't remember what, but I had this left over. So I shall get some more of this wool and knit a cardigan. And I thought in a minute after this, I shall start to merge and start doing plain, I think. And then perhaps do a little bit of design on the bottom of the cuffs. And then I've got to do a band, haven't I? But I'm just thinking, it's too good to have as a cowl. I was really thrilled with it, actually. And that's taken me a month, and I thought it would take a lot longer. But more than that is that I've enjoyed doing it. And I've really stuck at it. I thought, I'm jolly well going to learn to do this. And it's given me a real boost. And I thought, you know what? Having done this, it means I can do some more. So I'm very pleased with that. I really like, and I love these flowers at the top. And again, that's the beginning of doing my own kind of design on it. So watch this space is all I can say. I'm in no hurry for it, because, but I will definitely push on and do that. And I'm very, very pleased that I've done what I can, and I'm really pleased about that. Now, I have also pushed the boat out a little bit and tried to play around with crochet. And I've done small crochet flowers. I'm not good at crochet, and I don't aspire to doing a lot of it, but again, it's another technique. And the other couple of weeks ago, I had a really sore thumb from hours of knitting, so I stopped knitting. And crochet is a lot kinder on the hands, and because I like all the hand dyed and the yarns, I've got baskets of yarn everywhere. So I started this one quite a long time ago, complete mess. I mean, a complete mess, but it doesn't matter. I mean, to start with, I don't know what I did, but it's, in fact, I quite like it because it's all messy and kind of, you know, there's no real, it's different, it's undulating, it's different shapes, different sizes, it doesn't do anything it should do, and in some ways, actually quite like that. But then I finally settled into doing a stitch that seemed a little bit more as it should be. Again, using, you know, I've got baskets of yarn, so I love the colour. So I thought I'd keep this bit, and who knows, maybe I'll join it up with other bits and eventually do a blanket or something. But I thought, I know what, I'm going to now start another bit with a kind of proper stitch, which I have done. And I've done this. I'm using a lot of old little scrappy bits and ends of sock yarn and things, which is such a good way to finish up. So that's that. And I might do strips of this. I think probably what I will do is lots of strips and squares, and then join it together, I don't know, for a quilt or a blanket or something, and join it all together. But it's a lovely thing to do. I've got it in my basket. I can take it in the sun and sit in the garden or whatever. And it makes a change from knitting. I mean, I still love the knitting and the weaving, but this is just another thing to do. And it's good fun, and I'm enjoying it. So really, that's mainly my knitting and crochet. Meanwhile, I always do spinning and dyeing, which I enjoy a lot. So here is a basket of some of my latest hand dyed and hand spun yarns. You can see I'm a bit into green at the moment. Nice colours. Put them down here. This one was rather good. I mixed this with I got a lovely fleece a couple of weeks ago from, I think it was Woolly Knits, and it was on offer, and it's called Eggshell. It's beautiful colour. It's this creamy eggshelly colour, and I mixed this with some of the other bits I had left on the spool, but I thought it's turned into quite a nice mild yarn. I mean, I think together I should probably be able to get something half decent out of these. Here's some more colours, lots of greens, brown, grey. These, I think I showed you last time some of the fibre before it was actually spun. Yeah, before it was spun. But I think I'm not sure at the moment what's going to happen to all these, whether they will go into a weaving or a knitting, or probably a bit of both. I think probably to start with it'll go into a weaving. And knitting, I might do another chunky, if you remember I did a chunky short sleeved cardigan before. But I just love the spinning and the weaving and the dyeing. I just do it till I'm blue in the face, really. But it's nice to have baskets of finished stuff and decide what to do with it. Trouble is, my brain never stops whirring. So those are nice colours, aren't they? It's interesting, I'm not doing much blue at the moment, but I think I just go into different phases. Now here is some of my dyeing, which I know you've seen before, but I think since I was last talking to you, I was thinking socks and how to mix and to do little designs on socks. So here we have, for example, some sock yarn that I've dyed. And I thought if I do some 25-gram skeins, then I can mix and match. So I really like these. I think this is nice. I'm thinking my next project will be, I think they look quite nice, don't they? Pair of socks. And this one's got more purple in it. Then I have to decide which it looks good with. Does it look good with that? It does actually. But I thought if I do, with the better weather coming, I should get some more sock yarn to do it. But I thought these mini skeins, it opens up a lot of possibilities. And here we are, is a big. So if I have the large skeins and the small skeins, or I can do weaving with it or knitting, I don't know, but it's just lovely to have all this stuff to play with. But I'm certainly thinking socks in the short term, how to have a main body colour for socks and then add mini skeins for the edging and design on it. So I'll get there in the end. Oh, they make me draw these colours. And it's not me that does it, it's the dyes. They're lovely. But I do enjoy the dyeing. Look, there's another mini skein. Yeah, I'm giving myself ideas as I look at these. I think that would look very nice. I might start that today. Later I'll have to cake them up, wind them and get going. I've just bought myself, actually, it should come today from Amazon, a little bag. So my daughter's got a dog walking bag, the same, and it can clip on a belt around your waist. And I measured it yesterday, hers, to make sure I could get my knitting needles in there. It'd be brilliant for carrying my little sock knitting around when I go and sit on the beach and knit. That will be a really nice thing to do. So those are dyes, that's that. I will show you now, if I can find somewhere, oh, I did have some books. Oh yeah, here we go. The book I was telling you about, that encourages you to design your own, and I just thought it was amazing. Just as a point of interest, in the 1970s, there was a Scandinavian group of women who promoted knitting as a kind of political statement. I can't go into all the details because I don't remember it, but I do know that it infused me and it cooked into something about, you know, women's liberation and all that was happening, and how knitting could be, rather than just following patterns all the time and doing what you're told, you actually did your own thing. And the weird thing is, when I came across this book the other day on Google, the weird thing is it refers to that. So it's almost like coming a full circle. It was called Nordinsk or something, the whole movement. Honestrick. There we go. And I thought that is bizarre. So anyway, I got this book and it's blown my mind. And basically the whole ethos is do your own thing, don't follow patterns. There's nothing wrong with following patterns, but feel free to, you know, to break the mould and do other things. This is the name of the book. Unfortunately, it's come out back to front, hasn't it? It's called Alternate Rebellion, basically. That word is rebellion. I'm sorry it's back to front. It's only £10.99. Brilliant little book. And as you can see, it's my kind of thing. But, I mean, it's got some very, very inspiring things in. I mean, there's no way I could do that, but you never know. Maybe one day. But I could do a bit of it. I could pick bits of it out. It's just a really wacky read. I mean, look at that. That's fantastic, isn't it? I mean, it's different. So part of me loves the sludgy browns and everything. That's probably more winter. Now I'm getting into summer. I'm definitely going to try some mittens. Definitely. Because I think it's true that if you set yourself a target, and it's like doing this colour work, making myself do it, it becomes easier and more familiar. And you know, you obviously I have built up confidence. This is rather good one. I don't fancy wearing them. It says knit to the end, back to front. Rather good, aren't they? But I mean, the patterns, I mean, it's just amazing here. So many lovely things. And you can't help, well, I can't help but be inspired by them all. I mean, I love books anyway, but this makes it all a bit more manageable. Here we are, back into the mittens again. I mean, oh, there's more trousers. The mittens, look. To me, it's really good to have a go at that because they are small and therefore much more manageable. And, you know, to learn to do that on mittens before you then tackle a big sweater is such a brilliant idea. So I'm very sold on this book, very sold on it. I mean, it's wacky use of colour, it's just wacky, and it suits me down to the ground. I love it. And then here, right at the end, there's pages and pages and pages. Pages of patterns. Do your own thing, which I think is fantastic. I mean, for £10.99, if you like this sort of thing, and I've never seen it advertised, I just came across it when I was Googling something else. I can't remember what it was, but it came up and I thought, right. And just while we're on the theme of colour, I do like to do sketchbooking. I haven't done much recently, but I have got a lot of sketchbooks that one day I probably will show you some of them. Hopefully I won't bore you. And I like doing designs on pattern and on fabric. In fact, I've just done some on fabric. Hang on. I've got to do more colour on it, but I just washed that yesterday, and that's just on an old bit of calico, and I just dyed it. I mean, it's a bit messy at the moment, but I will put more colour on it. But that's just thick. No, it's not calico. This is more like duck cloth. It's very thick. But it will be quite good when I come to making bags. But I have been doing over the winter, I like to take photographs. And those of you that probably follow me on Facebook will know that. And the trouble with having photographs digitally is, you know, you can lose them. So I now get free prints. And I've started sticking photographs in just an ordinary sketchbook. And it's a nice way of keeping them, but it's also quite inspirational when you come to want to create designs. It's difficult to hold it up there. I hope you can see it. Oh, that's those are Ireland. My gorgeous Ireland. My grandson went and I did some socks because it inspired me to dye some socks, and I gave them to my granddaughter. And there's my grandson, bless him. Back view of him. Lovely, lovely man. One of my grandsons. One of my grandsons. And there's some, I mean, again, the flowers and the colours of the flowers, you know, come on, next summer I should be on a roll doing all this. And I just take photographs, really, as I go around. You know, I just always, it's on my camera, and I always have my camera in my pocket. And I get colourways with it. And I put bits of my weaving in, and my walls. But it's quite a nice easy sort of way of getting inspiration for those of you that have camera. I mean, just look at those. I mean, it's nature, isn't it? Those gorgeous, beautiful shapes of flowers and things. Sorry, it's a bit wobbly. Just look at those. Ooh, lovely. So I've only got to look at that and I immediately think colour schemes. It's a short way of really getting inspiration, I suppose. And I like to mix some of the wools and things that I've knitted and woven and add it all up. And, you know, people like to look at them. And so do I, actually. I won't bore you with any more. There's a nice, there's all some of my wools and flowers. So you can probably see where I get my love of colour from. I mean, it's all around us, isn't it, the colour? I stuck those in yesterday because the sun was shining, and I keep these at the moment down in my little art hut in the garden. And I thought, I've got to go out and the sun's shining. So I did really, really bright colours. And then I did more subtle with some of my weaving on. So yeah, that's just another thought for any of you that want to, you know, perhaps don't want to do sketchbooks as such, because it can be rather daunting. Just stick lots of photographs in a book, and that again will give you an idea of, you know, suddenly might inspire, it might inspire some creativity, you never know. And then lastly today, I will show you, I finished some weaving that had been on my loom since last summer, because for a while I couldn't do weaving, and I've now gone back to it. So far so good. I'm limiting myself to, you know, a limited time a day. I don't want to overdo it because I had this terrible pain before in my shoulders and it seems to be settling down. But I took this off the loom and it was so nice to be able to do a little bit of weaving. It's inspired me to do some more. I'm not going to do anything particularly with this. I thought what I might do is just to keep this and use it as a sort of wrap. You know, I was just really playing with the thoughts and ideas and the colours. Now, I'm not sure what my next weaving project would be. I have to warp up the loom. But I thought, well, why not just use it as a wrap? Have it round my... Before I've made coats and things, I don't, at the moment, fancy going back to making coats. I might do one day. But I thought, well, why not just have it as a wrap? I mean, it's quite nice and easy to wear. So that was that, which I'm not sure, as I say, what I'm going to do next, but I think I shall use some of these more subtle colours. I don't know, but I do, and I've still got a whole basket of yarns down in my art hut, but I like doing, this is a tapestry weave here, which I've done coats in the past, and although I'm not sure what to do with the results, I do like the process very much. So maybe I'll just weave away happily and not even think about the result and just do it and see where it gets me. So that's that, which is the latest off the loom. This I did last year and I didn't like the colours. It was my hand dye, but it didn't suit me. It was just a very simple short jacket. So I just dyed the whole thing in a lichen green, and I really love this jacket now. I mean, it's such an easy little jacket to wear, and I've done it on a finer warp, which is the long threads that you weave onto, and because I've done it on a finer warp, it's a thinner, more drapey fabric, and I'm really liking this, and I'm thinking the next weave I do will be a finer warp, and whether I do, I mean, this is plain weave without the tapestry, I put binding in there, some ribbon, but it's a very nice, very lightweight jacket, easy to wear, and I think I'll get a lot of wear out of this. It's not like the others that are thicker, more like coats, but this is just like an inside jacket, and I'm really pleased with the colour. So that has opened up new possibilities. If I weave something or even knit something, don't like the colour, just dye the whole thing all together and hopefully it will come together. I did a again, these are just samples. Again, this is the finer weave, and I did these a while ago. And again, just really to see what happens. And it is a very nice, fine, drapey fabric. If any of you have any ideas of what I could do and what I could weave, I guess I'd like some inspiration, please. But the process of weaving I find incredibly therapeutic and quite creative. It touches something deep in my soul, so I shall always weave as long as I can, and then think about the final outcome of it when I've done it, I think. I mean, I did 5 years of making coats and scarves and selling, which was lovely. I'm glad I did it, but I've moved on. I just want to really have less pressure and just enjoy whatever. And then this is another one, and this is slightly thicker warp. Again, the colours are a bit googey, and I did it went slightly bright, I think. But I dyed this. I didn't think this would particularly work. I wanted to dye the linen warp, and of course you have to use a different dye for plant fibres. So I dyed it in antique gold, which is fine, but it made this all very gold. But you know, whatever, I don't really mind. But it's slightly thicker, but again, it's a very nice, comfortable. So, you know, lots of possibilities. I'm just gonna have a nice bit of my drink. Lots of possibilities. Not sure what I'm going to make, but I know I am going to make, and I am going to create, and I love doing it. So also the weaving uses up a lot of little bits of yarn, which is good. Whereas knitting, you need to have probably, you know, quite a lot of the same thing. I think that's more or less all now. I have got my new mug that I was telling you about last time. Really nice mug this is. I got it from Etsy. It's a very, very comfortable mug to hold. Oh, it's lovely. And I'm into my oat milk. I love it. I think I might be slightly obsessed with it, actually. I think I might be slightly addicted to oat milk. I love it. Don't know what it is, but I really love it. Oat milk. So that's what's in here. Warm oat milk, which is very... I've had a coffee today. 2 coffees. So I don't need any more. I hope that's interested you and I haven't bored you, and I've gone through all sorts of things. I've given myself all sorts of ideas while I'm doing this, so when I finish I shall probably start on a new project. I might get that wool wound to start another pair of socks with one of those mini skeins, which I really think has got future. I think there's future in this. Don't quite know what the future is, but yeah, very nice. Anyway, so thank you for joining me. I hope you're enjoying your fibres and your knitting and your weaving and your creative pursuits, and look forward to meeting you again probably in about 4 weeks' time. Bye for now.